Ever feel like you're drowning in paperwork? Like you need a miracle just to get a permit approved? Well, for Kenji Tanaka, that miracle was literal, and it was a total administrative nightmare. The fluorescent lights hummed a song of soul-crushing monotony. In a gray cubicle, Kenji Tanaka, 25, a man whose greatest joy was a perfectly aligned stamp, sorted through a towering inbox. He worked for the Japanese Ministry of Esoteric Affairs, the department responsible for managing the spirit world, from approving minor blessings to scheduling exorcisms. His life was a symphony of triplicate forms, until his boss, Amar Shimura, a man permanently on the verge of a stress-induced aneurysm, slammed a new file on his desk. Mr. Fine. Shimura, frazzled. Tanaka, code Vermilion. We have a Kitsune Class 3 trickster spirit named Konta. He's not attacking with dark energy, he's attacking with legalese. Kenji adjusted his glasses. Sir, what's the tangible threat? Mr. Shimura, he's filed a Form 7B, a Preemptive Spiritual Injunction. It states that by celestial law, subsection 42C, any unapproved divine artifact cannot be used against him. Tanaka, he's made himself lawsuit-proof. The only thing that could stop a demon this clever was the Hamaya arrow, a sacred weapon of pure purification. But it was, you guessed it, a divine artifact. And thanks to Form 7B, it was unapproved for use against Konta. Kenji's quest had begun. Not with a sword, but with a checklist. And so, Kenji embarked on an epic, hilarious odyssey through the spirit world's most mind-numbing bureaucracy. His mission: get the Hamaya arrow officially approved for 1. Demonic confrontation. Montage sequence. The permit. Kenji journeys to a misty mountain peak to find a sleeping Tengu, the divine avian bureaucrat. The Tengu snores loudly, a single feather quill in his hand. Kenji patiently fills out a permit for avian awakening, Form 12, and slips it under the Tengu's wing. The Tengu wakes up, grumpily stamps it, and goes back to sleep. The inspection. Kenji takes the glowing, powerful Hamaya arrow to the Artifact Compliance Department. A bored Oni in a lab coat measures it, weighs it, and scans it with a weird device. Oni Inspector. Purity levels are good. Structural integrity, acceptable. But the fletching is 0.2 millimeters out of spec. I'm going to have to issue a conditional pass. You'll need to file a waiver. The request. Finally, Kenji stands in line at the interdimensional requests window. He slides a massive stack of paper, the request for demonic confrontation, Form 88X, to a Kappa clerk. Kappa clerk, without looking up. You used the new cover sheet? The TPS report cover sheet? Kenji, with a triumphant smile, produces the perfectly formatted cover sheet. The Kappa grunts in approval and stamps the request with a loud twack. The stage was set. The final battle would not be in a dark alley, but in the gleaming marbled halls of the Celestial Court. Celestial Court, de Konta. The Kitsune was everything you'd fear in a corporate raider. Sharp suit, 9 perfectly groomed tails, and a smile that could sell you a timeshare in the underworld. He represented himself. Kenji, clutching his file folder like a shield, stood opposite him. A majestic elderly dragon judge presided, peering over spectacles. Dragon Judge. The ministry seeks to use the Hamaya arrow against the entity Konta. The defendant, you're protected by a Form 7B. What say you, ministry? Konta stood, smooth as silk. Your Honor, it's simple. The Hamaya arrow is a Class S divine artifact. My injunction, filed correctly I might add, specifically prohibits its use. The ministry has no case. I move for dismissal and compensation for emotional distress. He winked at Kenji. The dragon judge looked at Kenji. Clerk Tanaka, does the ministry have a rebuttal? Kenji's palms were sweaty. This was it. He began flipping frantically through his binder, through all the rules and bylaws he had memorized. Konta smirked, watching him flail. Then, Kenji saw it. An obscure footnote in the Celestial Code of Conduct, Bylaw 9G. His head shot up. The meek clerk was gone. In his place was a master of his craft. Kenji, Your Honor, if I may direct the court to Bylaw 9, G. The Annual Manifestation Disclosure Clause. Konta's smirk faltered. What of it, Kenji? It states that any entity operating with a Class 3 license or above must file an AMD form no later than the first fiscal moon of the year. This form details all spiritual activities and energy expenditures. Kenji paused for dramatic effect, pulling a single sheet from his folder. I have here the official registry. The entity, Konta, has failed to file his annual manifestation disclosure. Gasp! From the spectral gallery. Kenji, according to precedent set in the People vs. the Vengeful Yurei, failure to file an AMD immediately nullifies any protective injunctions filed by said entity for the remainder of the fiscal year. The Form 7B is invalid. Konta was speechless. His nine-tails drooped. I've been so busy with acquisitions, I must have forgotten. The dragon judge slammed a gavel. The objection is overruled. The Hamaya arrow is hereby approved for immediate use against the entity Konta. As the judge spoke the words, the Hamaya arrow, which had been lying on the evidence table, began to glow with an intense, pure light. It didn't fire like a normal arrow. It simply activated. A wave of blinding white energy shot out, not with a twang, but with the satisfying, final, bureaucratic thud of a perfectly filed document. Konta let out a yelp, not of pain, but of sheer administrative frustration, as he was dissolved into a puff of red tape and sparkles. EXT. Ministry of Esoteric Affairs, Rooftop, Sunset. Kenji stands on the roof, taking a rare break. Mr. Shimura approaches, holding 2 cups of vending machine coffee. Mr. Shimura. A clean victory, Tanaka. You saved the world from chaos. Kenji. I just followed the procedures, sir. Mr. Shimura nods, then his eye twitches. There is, however, the matter of the post-exorcism paperwork. The 1099 MISC form for spiritual contract work, the environmental impact report on the purification blast. It's quite a stack. He gestures to a new tower of files on a nearby table, even taller than the last. Kenji looks at the stack. He takes a sip of his coffee. A small, serene smile plays on his lips. He picked up his favorite pen. For the master of paperwork, every finished form was just another demon banished.